Life is unpredictable. One moment, we're full of joy, and the next, we're facing challenges that shake our faith. Maybe you're in a season of waiting, praying for a breakthrough, but it seems like nothing is happening. Maybe you're facing a difficult decision, unsure of what step to take next. Or maybe you feel like everything is falling apart, and you don't know if you have the strength to keep going. No matter where you are, God is with you. Even in uncertainty, even in fear, even when you don't understand, He is working behind the scenes. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." You may not see the full picture, but God does. You may not know the next step, but He has already gone before you. And He is asking you today, do you trust me? The struggle between fear and faith, trusting God, is not always easy. Fear tells us to hold on tightly to control. Faith tells us to surrender. Fear whispers, what if things don't work out? Faith declares, even if I don't see it now, God is working all things for my good. When Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, he was walking in faith. But the moment he took his eyes off Jesus and focused on the waves, fear took over. He started sinking. But Jesus didn't let him drown. Instead, He reached out His hand and lifted Peter up. That's exactly what it is for us. When our faith wavers, when fear overwhelms us, He reaches out and holds us up. He doesn't let us go. God's presence in the waiting is one of the hardest things to do. We want answers now. We want things to change immediately. But sometimes, God's greatest work happens in the waiting. Think about Joseph. He had a dream that he would become a great leader, but before that happened, he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. For years, nothing made sense. But God was preparing him. And at the right time, Joseph stepped into his destiny. If you're in a waiting season, know this: God is preparing you for something greater. Don't lose faith. Don't give up. God's timing is always perfect. Faith in the fire. When the storm feels too strong, maybe you feel like you're in the fire right now. The pressures of life, the disappointments, the unanswered prayers, they feel overwhelming. But let's look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They refused to bow down to an idol, and because of their faith, they were thrown into a fiery furnace. But they weren't alone. Because in the fire, a fourth man appeared, Jesus Himself. Not only did they survive, but they came out without even smelling like smoke. God didn't take them out of the fire, He walked with them through it. And He's walking with you now. You may feel the heat, but you won't be burned. You may feel surrounded by trouble, but God is surrounding you with His presence. God's promises are your anchor when life feels uncertain. We need to hold on to God's promises. He promises, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:8. My grace is sufficient for you. 2 Corinthians 12:9. I have plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. I'm working all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. When doubt creeps in, declare His promises over your life. When fear tries to take hold, remind yourself that He is faithful. Let His word be your foundation. Because storms will come, but when your faith is built on Him, you will not be shaken. Meditation. Entering His peace. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and picture Jesus standing in front of you. He's looking at you with love, with understanding. He says, do not fear. I'm with you. Feel the weight of your burdens lifting as you surrender them to Him. Let His peace fill every corner of your heart. Now, imagine yourself in a boat on a stormy sea. The waves are high. The wind is strong. But suddenly, Jesus stands and says, peace, be still. And in an instant, the storm calms. Let that truth sink in. Jesus is your peace in the storm. Challenge. A step of trust this week. I challenge you to step out in faith. If fear has been holding you back from something God has called you to do, take the first step. If you've been struggling with doubt, declare God's promises over your life every morning. If you're in a season of waiting, choose to trust His timing instead of giving into anxiety. If you feel overwhelmed, surrender it all in prayer and rest in His presence. God is working. He is faithful. You are not alone. Call to action, be a light. If this message encouraged you, let me know in the comments by typing, "I trust you, Lord." Hit the like button if you believe that God is working in your life. And don't forget to subscribe and share this message so that more people can be reminded of God's faithfulness. God's plans for you are good. His timing is perfect. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep walking in faith. Amen.